Did you hit record already?
Now, fellas, you should know the first stars in the NBA were Eden.
First stars in I didn't hear what he said. First stars
in NBA.
I'm saying from my childhood, it was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Your child is not the beginning of the sport.
Right. Okay, I understand that. I don't.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so let's.
Chamberlain was before that.
Yes, but he wasn't Jewish.
No, he wasn't.
He has a son that's Jewish.
Could be. He had
right,
a lot of
right.
sons.
I know
Here. Okay, so let's see. We're up to now. We're out of the Agada to Gemara.
It's a bit small document now.
What? We're going with Skinnerman. Yes, so Tana, what is it, right? The two dots. Itmar, sorry. 12 lines up from the bottom on Ayin Hayam base.
So Yaakov, you switched your mind back to regular Gemara yet, or no?
No, not yet, because we got it to coming up again in 2 days, two block.
Okay.
So don't lose it. Don't lose it, Ben.
Yeah, but you did prepare, so you're ready for it.
Yeah. Yes. If you ask me if I have shot in any of it, I don't. So, but yeah, we turned the page on that literally. Fine. Itmar. So now we're going back to Kinyonim. Now we have a lot of Kinyonim here, which is a lot of repeats from Kiddushin, which I guess if you don't remember it, I don't know if it could be called a repeat. But Itmar, Svina.
We're not doing Agada?
Now it's not Agada.
We're going back to ships, okay?
Now we're going back to ships. Yeah, that's yes. But Svina, meaning how you kinda a Svina? Rav Amar Kiman Shemashach Kolshu. Once you pull the ship a little bit, or a boat, Rashbam says, tefach or chatzi tefach, which is always an interesting lashon. What does that mean? Right? Right, let me just say chatzi tefach. Whatever it is, that's a very small amount. You only have to pull it a drop. Kana, if you did that, you're kind of the boat. Shmuel Amar loy kana achi yimshach es kula. You have to pull the entire boat. What does that mean? Pull the entire boat. When you pull it, the entire boat goes. What it means is if you pull it the length of whatever size boat it is, let's say it's a 25-foot long boat, so you got to pull it 25 feet, right? Meaning the entire length of the boat has to be pulled. Let's say it's
why does that matter how much you pull it? If it's in, don't you have to bring it into a certain rishus? Like, well, who cares how much you pull it? When's the idea, Mashiach, you have to bring it into your rishus?
Yeah.
So who cares how much you pull
wouldn't
it?
That be the issue automatically with a river? It's not in anyone's rishus.
I understand.
The says that the ship is completely removed from its original place.
Right, no, but he's asking, Akiva's asking, we're going to see on Amud Beis about this.
Saying if we're tying this to the Kinyan Mashiach, what does that have to do with?
He's saying you're supposed to pull it into your rishus.
You have to bring it into your rishus. And if it's somto, whatever it is, what does it matter how much you pull it?
Right, it doesn't work in rishus harabim.
Right, that's my point. It has nothing to do with how much you pull it.
That's
not how normal Kinyan Mashiach work. That's what I'm asking.
The machine.
So Akiva, what they're telling you is that whichever sheet they have in pulling, that's as if he pulled it into your rishus. That shows that it's in your rishus now, not in the first guy's rishus. The one who says it's a half a tefach says that. The one who says it's the whole length of the USS Constitution, whatever it is, that's what it is. Jeff Bezos is 400 foot. You have to pull 400 feet. That's it.
Right, but that has nothing to do with Mashiach.
That's called
it is.
For a ship. It's called Mashiach. It's not going into your physical rishus, like Gershon said. It's in the river. They're all in the flat Mashiach marina. So nobody owns the marina. The marina guy owns the marina.
So then you got other problems, and it's not a Mashiach at all. So why are we
They don't
calling
have
it
any
Mashiach?
problems because
No.
the Gemara said
Or
it's
definition of that,
Mashiach for a ship. So I have no
Yeah,
problem.
he's
Definition
trying
of
to
that.
understand what that
You
means.
might have a problem. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, fine.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm just pointing out it doesn't follow the normal rules of Mashiach. That's all.
Right. No, it's true. You have a
That's
point.
all.
What are you saying, Gershon? You have a shot?
Yeah, Rishus means two things. Rishus can either be a physical jurisdiction or more ubiquitous, is belonging to him. How do you prove it belongs to you? Usually with an animal or an inanimate object, no Mashiach, you have to bring it into your physical jurisdiction. But where that can't be, you just have to show that it is in your jurisdiction. That means you have bias over it. Ultimately, the two Mashiachas do the same thing. They show that I have bias over something. Usually the way I show I have bias is by putting it in my property, physical property. Where I can't put it in my physical property, the same Mashiach does the same thing. It shows that I have ownership over it.
The Shema says on this halacha that you have to do the whole thing. It's when it's in a simta. When it's not in Rosh Hashanah, then you have to do the whole thing. I think this is maybe what Gershon is saying, but when you're being moshech from Rosh Hashanah into a different rishus, into a simta, or to your own rishus, you would not have to pull the whole boat. You just have to pull it enough.
So he's saying like Akiva. He's saying like Akiva.
Yeah, it's same thing. We're all saying the same thing. No one's arguing here. Just different ways of putting it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, but that's a machlokes. How far do you have to pull it? Either half a tefach or tefach, or the whole thing. So let's say it's the same thing as the machlokes tanoim. Keitzad v'mesira. How do you do mesira? How do you hand over an animal? Now, mesira is a type of kinyan, right? We have mesira, you have meshicha, you have what else? Shtar.
Hagba.
Well, hagba, yeah.
Is the best.
Yeah, so we'll see as we go along. But how do you do mesira? Also betalfa. If you hold on to its talfa means its hoof, besaira by its hair, ba'uchav shaleh or the saddle, bishlif shaleh or if it has a load on it, b'prumbia shabapia, or it has something in its mouth, bizug shabatzavaro or a bell that's on its neck, kana. So if you do the mesira like that, then you're kind. I mean, the easy way to understand it is you take the what do you call it? The saddle. Let's say the saddle has a string on it, so you just hand it over, and that would be a kinyan.
So this became the famous the idiom, taking it by the reins.
Right, but is that referring to kinyan?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Take it by
It's I have bias over this. I'm taking it by the reins.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So that's Masira. Okay, good. Keitzad Mashicha. How's Mashicha? Kairala v'hiba. If you call it and it comes to you, even though that the chiddush is that you're not actually doing a physical Mashicha, right? Or he hits it with a stick and it runs in front of him. Kivin she'akra yad v'regel.
Once it he bought it.
Doesn't. He's doing a ma'aser kinyan on it. That has nothing to do with the animal. I mean, it has to do with the animal. He's being kind of the animal, but meaning he made the animal move. I mean, when you buy a car, it doesn't know that you bought it either.
But when you take it by its range, you're showing you're in charge.
So here's the one: you call it and it comes.
Do with you.
Doesn't, but you caused it to come. So that's like you moving it, I think. Anyway, so Kivin Shakra Yad V'Regel, once it lifts a hand and a foot, that's meaning what's a hand and a foot? Meaning the front leg and the back leg. Kana, he's kind of. It has to go. Malay Kamasa usually means a height, but it doesn't mean that here. It means that he has to move all the four legs. So Lema Ravda, so you see, it's a Malay Kamasa either means that or it means that you have to pull it the length of the animal. Either way, it seems like it's the same machlokes. Lema Ravda Amakatana Kama. let's say Rav goes like the Tanakama, because Rav said all you have to do is move it a little bit. Shmuel holds like Rav Acha, who says that you have to move it the full length. Rav says I could say even like Rav Acha. He can only say because even though he was Iker the Yad and the Regel, but Duch the Kaima, that's just because it moved its one leg and 1 foot, that doesn't, it's still in its place. It hasn't moved. Yeah.
I ask you, Michila, but I think Yad Varego is or, not and.
Who?
Yad Varego, the Akra Yad Varego is or. Either a front leg or a hind leg. It's not both.
Not, you sure?
Arspell translates it as both.
Atsko says and.
Really? Rabbeinu Gershom says Oy. And the whole raya that it would be like Rav, if it moves both, then it did move.
Arspell's probably
Rav
going
just
with
said
Rashbam, who says Vi. Not Oy.
It doesn't have to, just because it picked up its leg, it picked up its front hand too. It doesn't mean it moved any place.
It can't, no, because I think what
if it
Gershom is
moves
saying,
one side,
how does
it
it
has
move?
moved.
I'm sorry?
If it moved the whole side, Yad Varego,
It didn't move.
it moved.
No, Lav Dafka. I don't know.
I mean, I could go like this, Gershon. I pick
Yeah,
up my
but-
left foot and my left hand, and then I don't move.
That
I'm not an animal.
yeah.
Okay, at least I got a compliment out of you. Yeah. What are you? I initially I thought, okay, it must be the animals moving.
Jacob, I think you should just tell them that we're Michael.
This is better than Stefanski.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Anyway, I don't know. You're saying Rabbeinu Gershom is interesting. I didn't even notice that. He says, "Oi."
I'm saying he's Chalak and Rashbam. He has a different gears in the Gemara. Rashbam was the gears in the Gemara for it.
I didn't even notice that. I don't know why I would notice it. I'm not learning Rabbeinu Gershom. Tincherem by me.
Rabbeinu Gershom has the same girsa in the Gemara.
You think he has the same girsa?
He said Yad Varegel at the beginning. Given the Akra Yad Varegel Kana. Ba'afal gav the Akra Yad Oy Regel. Then he touches what it means. But he has the girsa Yad Varegel.
I hear. I don't know. I don't know.
If
Normally,
you see what he says in those words, he says Einach Reglayim. He says those other feet. So I don't know if that's what he means.
yeah, it's interesting. It's a usual. I mean, Vic could sometimes taka mean oi. It doesn't have to be a girsa issue, right? Okay, let's see. Right. So Ella. So again, let's go back a line. So Amalach Rav. I know Damri Afilu Rav Acha. I'm gonna say even like Rav Acha. Ad kan lokum Rav Acha Ella b'Balei Rav Acha only says it's dim b'Balei Chaim d'Avgav the Okra Yad V'Regel. Even though there's Okra Yad V'Regel, but Duch the Kari, it's still in its same place. Which Rashbam says Guf HaBehema Loy Zaza. Yes, its foot in its hand moved, but the actual thing did not move. Avosvina, even the Nadaba, since he shook it, Porta, the Nadaba Porta, he moved it a little bit. Nadalakula, that means the whole boat moved, meaning by an animal, it moves its two, well, at least according to us, Gershon has a little different shot, right? So if you move the feet and the hands, it doesn't necessarily move the whole animal. But a boat, you can't move the front without the back. Although I'm wondering if you have those accordion buses.
Yeah, the buses are different than the shit. Yeah.
So right, so if you pull the front, you're not necessarily pulling the back. The back may not be moving. I don't know if I'm overthinking this or underthinking it, right? But maybe if you don't have that, so then maybe that's not. There wouldn't be a kinyan, right? He's just assuming you move the whole thing with it.
Well, a truck with a box. It's the cab and the box. That's two separate things.
Oh, Taka, right. If it's detached and you pull the front, doesn't mean you're going to be kind of the back. That's coming up as Hashem in the next couple of Mishnayos, similar situations to that. Shmuel Amar, no Damri, if you look at Tanakama, I say even like the Tanakama. Tanakama only says it. by Bali Chaim. The kimen demi akar yad regel, since it uproots a yad and regel, idach leme akar kaima. That means the other legs are gonna also, right? Meaning normally the other two legs are gonna follow suit, right? Once the animal starts pulling it, so it's gonna end up being pulled. If you pull the entire ship, meaning every part of the ship moves, meaning fully, then good, Eloi. But if not, then not. Right. So that's why you need to pull the entire ship. Okay, so we say that Rab and Shmuel are not necessarily having the same machlokes as the Tanoim. Fine. Leim Makani Tanoi, the Tanya, Svina Niknis b'Mashicha. A boat, a ship, whatever, you can be kind with Mashicha. Svina ve'oisius, a svina or oisius. Oisius literally means letters, which the Rashbam says means a shtar chayiv. You want to buy debt, you want to buy somebody's debt, or you sell debt. So svina and oisius niknas b'mashicha, you be kind with mashicha, ubishtar, and a shtar. So Rav Noson's big machmer, he says that you have to be kind of. You have to a boat and Isius only work with Mashicha and a shtar. So Gemara says Isius man docher shmayu. Who mentioned anything about Isius? And where are you getting Isius here? We're talking about boats. All of a sudden you're bringing in how to be kind of shtaras. So something's missing, and this is what it says: Svina niknes b'Mashicha. A boat you kind of with Mashicha. You have to pull it. Isius b'Masira. And ICO meaning shtar. You have to, the way you kind it is by handing it over to the person. From Nasanaimer, Svina ve'Isius niknas b'Mashicha v'shtar. So you see that the Tanakama was also talking about Isius. So the machlokes is, so the Tanakama, at least what the machlokes were thinking now, is the Svina is niknas b'Mashicha, and the Isius is Masira. And Nasan says they both need Mashicha and shtar. Right, so he's much more machmer in the kinyonim. So Gemara says shtar l'svina lamali. Why do you need a shtar to be kind of a boat? Metaltali, a ship or a boat is metaltalin. All you need to do in metaltalin is mashicha. Why would you need a kinyan shtar? Right? We know that all these different types of there's karka, and then there's metaltalin, and then there's kesef, and then there's shtar. And each one has its different own ways of how to do kinyonim. But metaltalin, all you have to do with metaltalin is just pick it up. So why is Rav Nosson requiring a shtar also?
Yaakov, excuse me, I didn't think of it this morning. If I remember correctly, the icy is so in the garment center, especially, people use factors. Factor. Let's say you sell Walmart a shirt for $1. So you can't finance. You need to get the financing right away, because Walmart's going to pay you in 30 or 60 days. So you give the bill that you billed Walmart. You give a copy to the factor, and the next morning he deposits that money in your account. He pays you the full. He pays you the dollar less whatever percentage, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. So let's say he puts $96 by you. But when you send them over the copy of the bill, you send over each bill, and then you have a settle in the front. That's the summary of all the 100 bills that you sent them that day. So it's just like the Gemara. You have a bill on top of the IOUs. You have a shtar on top of the IOUs, if I remember correctly.
So you're saying you could sell those?
Yes, they said that's what it is. You're selling it. You're selling it every day. You're selling it to the factor. Somebody who has a factor, every day they sell whatever their accounts receivable. They sell it every day. Every new invoice, they sell it.
Okay, so then you could say, but this is l'chara talking about selling it to a third party, no? I guess they could have done that too.
Well, this is the third party.
I mean, that's the third party. That's the third party. That's the third party.
Walmart owes you the money, and you sold it to the third fellow.
I hear. Okay, so right, so
It's
that's
essentially exactly the same thing. The factor is buying debt before it's debt.
Yeah.
And this is, we're talking about actually buying debt, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so right, so there. Okay, so that's a star. That's a star. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that further down the road. So, but a boat is metaltalin. So just pull it, however you're gonna do it. Just pull the boat and then it's yours, right? So what do you need a star according to Rav Nosson? Elalav hachikatani. Svina niknes b'mashicha. A boat you kind it with mashicha. Va'isi b'masira. And the ice is with masira. Rav Nosson aimer svina b'mashicha. Va'isi b'shtar. So the anachanami. So now we have to split it. He wasn't going. The star was not going on both cases. Star was going on just the attention. The star. You kind of the star with the star. Right. Essentially, Isis is a star. It's a chayiv. It's a star chayiv. So you kind of with the star. Bottom line is there's no machlokes by Sfina. Seems like there's no machlokes in the Tanakama Rav Nosson that a boat you just kind of b'mashicha. So that's what the Gemara says. Sfina b'mashicha hainu Tanakama. You're saying that the Rav Nosson says that the Sfina is b'mashicha. That is the sheet of the Tanakama. El the Rav Shmuel ikabenayu. So must be that the difference between the Tanakama Rav Nosson and how to be kind of a ship is the machlokes Rav and Shmuel, right? Because Rav and Shmuel have machlokes how much of the ship you have to move in order to be kind of. So we're going to say that the machlokes Tanakama Rav Nosson is the same. That's the machlokes, right? So it says like the kuliyama ika Rav ika Shmuel. No, that's not the same machlokes. Everybody holds either like Rav or Shmuel. And by Svina, nobody, there's no machlokes, right? Meaning, what do they hold? Either they hold like Rav or Shmuel, meaning they both hold that you move the entire ship, or they both hold that you just move it a little bit. So keep pligib Oisius, but the whole machlokes in the Tanakama Rav Nosson is by Oisius, by the letters. Vachi Kamar Le Rav Nosson the Tanakama. And this is what Rav Nosson telling the Tanakama: Svina v'ada medina lach. By a svina, by a boat, for sure I'm minded to you that you just do mashicha. But Oisius iika star in. If there's a star, then yes. Eloi. But if there's no star, then not. Right? So that's so basically the Rav Nosson is not disagreeing with the Tanakama by a boat. He's saying I agree with you by boat, but I disagree with you by Oisius, right? Because the Tanakama holds Oisius, meaning the way you be makna somebody a star chayiv is just hand it over to him. And Rav Nosson says, no, you need a star. You need a star for it.
See, okay. What would you were basically doing two very different kinyanim on one thing, according to Rav Nosson?
What do you mean two different kinyanim?
You're doing a kinyan metaltalin and a kinyan and a kinyan like almost like which is a kinyan metaltalin. Then you're also doing a star, which is on a very different. It's normally done in karka.
Correct.
Which is a very different.
It's good, Akiva. You reminded me. It's good that right. Don't Rav Nosson doesn't hold that Oisius is just with a star. It's both. He holds you need both. You need Masira and star, not just star.
Right, but it just seems funny. How do those two work together? They're extremely different, and they work on completely different types of objects, or they work very differently. How do they work on the same thing together?
I don't know. I guess he just added on. No.
I don't know. You can't you can't use star and metalton, correct?
You can't, or you don't need to.
I don't think you can.
I'm not sure.
I really thought Akiva was going to ask something else. If you need a star to be kind of a star, why isn't there a problem with Ein Lod Sight?
Because how you kind of the star that's kind of the
star. How you kind of the star that's kind of the star.
Yes, I don't understand this whole thing using a star to be kind of a star. To be honest with you, I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. Maybe in the next 15, 20 minutes we'll understand it. No, 15, 20 minutes, Naftali's going crazy. No, less than that. Yeah. Okay. But we plugged the Dani Tanoi, and they're having a machlokes in this machlokes Tanaim. The Tanya, Isius Niknes b'Mesira. Isius, you can be kind of Isius b'Mesira, Divrei Rebbe. Chacham Maimrim, Bein Kasav, V'loy Masar, Bein Masav, V'loy Kasav, V'loy Kana. Now, so you have Isius, the way, meaning a star, you kind of by handing it over. That's Shitas Rebbe. Chacham Maimrim, Bein Kasav, V'loy Masar, whether he hands it over and he doesn't give it. Bein Masar v'loy Kasav, or whether he hands it over and he didn't write it. Loy Kana, he's not Koina Achi Yichtay v'Yimsar, till he has to write and give it over. Right, so we're saying that is the same machlokes. The machlokes, the Chachamim and Rav Nosson is the same machlokes the Rebbe and the Chacham. So when I asked, B'mayu Kimta, so who are the Tanakama going like Rebbe? So we're saying that Rebbe goes like the Tanakama. So since Svinanami Tikni b'Masira, if that's the case, then the Tanakama should hold that you should be kind of a boat, not only by Mashiach, not just by pulling it, but by doing Masira too. Now, how would you do Masira on a ship? So the belt? Whatever, yeah. So that's exactly what you would do. You would take you ring the belt? No, the ropes, the anchor, whatever, the things that are holding the boat down. You would just hand those over. The Tanya, Sina, Niklas, and Masira, Rebbe. Rebbe holds that a boat, you kind of a Masira. Like Kana, Chacham say you're not kind of on top of base. Achiyim Shechena, until he does Mashiach on the boat, or until he rents the makam that it is. Right? Why? Because like the Rashbam says, Rishus Shaladam is kind of like your Rishus is kindness. So that's a way to do it. Meaning, let's say the guy is nowhere near the ship. So how's he going to be kind of the ship? So he'll do a deal and he'll buy the water where the ship is. Whatever it is, what does the Gemara want with this kasha? So we're saying that according to Rebbe, the ship, you can be kind of a ship with Masira. So if that's the case, then you can't say that Rebbe and the Tanakama are saying the same thing, because there he says that Mashiach, you need to, in order to be kind of boat, you need Mashiach, not Masira. So it can't be. So when it says like kasha, no kasha. Converse Arabim, converse Simta. There's two different places you can make a kinyan. In a Rishus Arabim, this is what Akiva was saying before. In a Rishus Arabim, so which is if the border is in Rishus Arabim, so then you cannot do Mashiach, because Mashiach is you have to pull it into your own Rishus. You don't have your own Rishus. The boat is in the public property. Right? And so therefore, you'd have to do Masira. And Kamba Simta, but what's in a Simta is like, Simta normally is like what do we call it? Not a cul-de-sac, like a nook and a cranny, like off the Rishus Harabim. An alley, something like that. Right, an alley off the Rishus Harabim.
A marina would be a Simta.
Here it would be a marina? A marina would be a Rishus Hayachid, no?
It's semi, because anyone can walk up the decks, but not onto the boat.
Right.
The actual docks are Rishus Hayachid. It's really Rishus Harabim. It's a bit of both.
Gotta be similar to Rishus Harabim. The Reno Gershom says it's Rishus Harabim Gomor, but I must have some didn't like a Rishus Harabim. You see that?
Because there's no kinyanim on water. You can't be kind of half a river. So Mamela, it is Rishus Harabim, but it's not Rishus Harabim Gomor because he has the rights to that area.
Okay, whatever it is, it's like it's sort of like not a no man's land, right? It's not a
Gershon, you could both. When people have private beachfront, don't they own that?
Not the water.
I'm sure they own part of the water.
I think it's illegal in the States to own the water.
I always think they own part of the water. That's what I would think.
There's got to be different in different places. Like up here,
They own the waterfront access. They own the access.
Right, the access. Yeah, the access they own. The water you can't.
You could own parts of the lake.
Over here, Common Friedrich's property goes to the middle of the Neversink River. The other guy's on the other half. It's like I have a property, I go right to the middle of the street. Is my property here. It's different than New York City, but every place is different. It just depends on how they legislated it. Yeah.
Can he stop someone fishing on that part of the water?
I think so.
Yeah, well, for sure, he doesn't need a permit to fish over there.
Because it sounds like this is some form of still Rishus Harabim, but just quieter, right? That's what it sounds like. Anyway, so that's what he's saying. It's not a stira in Rebbe, because one is talking about in Rishus Harabim, one is talking about in the Simta. Okay, so so what are we talking about in the second brisa, right? That it's Mesira Rishus Harabim, because it's obviously Rishus Harabim, because we said we can't do Mashiach there, so you can only do Mesira. So he doesn't coin it until he pulls it. If it's Rishus Harabim, who is he renting the land from to do Mashiach? We said Mashiach requires you to pull it into your property. If it's a Rishus Harabim, how are you doing that? Besu, Mashiach Rishus Harabim Mikanya, does Mashiach work Bechlal and Rishus Harabim? Yeah, Va'abaya Rava, V'damri Tava, Abaya Rava both say Mesira Kaina Rishus Harabim. Mesira works in Rishus Harabim, and you can hand over the ropes from the ship in Rishus Harabim. V'chatzer she'ena shel shneim, or it works in a chatzer that doesn't belong to either one of them. Let's say it's a neutral spot. Meshicha kaina besimta, and Meshicha you're kaina in a simta, u'b'chatzer she'ishal shneim. And a chotzer belongs to both of them. Vagba kaina b'chol makom, and Hagba works everywhere. That's your little kitzer of kinyanim, right? But the point is that according to both shitas, Meshicha does not work in Rishus Harabim. So how can you say that you're being kainit in Rishus Harabim with Meshicha? It doesn't work. The Gemara says, "My achiyim shechen nami dekama." What does it mean when it says until you pull it? What does it mean until you rent the spot? This is what it's saying. It means until you pull it from the Rishus Harabim into the Simta. Right? That type of Mashiach works. Meaning he doesn't have to do the Mashiach into his own property, but Mashiach into the Simta, which is a much calmer place, then that has a chashivas of Mashiach. What's
the mechanics of that Mashiach?
I wish I knew.
Is the owner on the boat? I mean, someone has to be piloting the boat, and someone's on the
Why?
land.
You just pull it.
The boat was just floating in the middle of the ocean?
No, it was anchored somewhere. I don't know.
There's got to be some distance between the Rishus Harabim of the ocean or river and the Simta. It's just mashma that the owner is on the original owner is on the boat, and he's doing Mashiach from dry land, and nevertheless he's still kindness with the bailam on it.
I don't know. First of all, can you do that? I don't know.
Passion, have some imagination. You're talking about a super yacht that's 500 feet long and it costs $400 million. The guy who built it ain't on it, and the owner ain't on it. He's on his other yacht in the Pacific. This guy's by his boatyard in Norway. They have not. Come on, don't think of a little ship.
The owner's people are still on it.
Think big.
Oh, now you talk like a Talmud of the Rebbe. Yeah. I don't know. Can you do Mashiach? If the guy's riding a horse, can you be kainet with him on there? I have no idea.
I don't know. Masira works like that.
And not that his mother died. King Charles has like $8 billion worth of houses.
Yeah. Anyway, so Rishus Bailam he like Konachi Yischaras Makaima. If it's talking in the Rishus Bailam, so the only way to do it is to be kind of that place. Right? Meaning, so that means all the brises is all Shitas Rebbe. Right? And if it's in Rishus Harabim, you got to do Masira. And if it's in or pull it into the Simta. And if it's in a Simta, then you would have to do Mashicha. Right? Meaning, we want to make sure that the person does the highest level of kinyan possible. Right? Okay, fine. Now you're going to ask Lema Abaye v'Rava Dami Karevi. So it's we just got finished saying that Abaye and Rava, that the ones that send Mesiras kind of Rishus Harabim and Mashiachas kind of Besimta, but not in Rishus Harabim, whatever it is, comes out that Abaye and Rava are saying like Rebbe, which Rebbe is a Das Yochid against the Rabbanon. So there's both Abaye and Rava are going with Rebbe. Ravashi. Ida Amrle Lech Chazek Vikani. We had this a couple of times. If he said, meaning when the seller said, go, make a chazaka and be koine hachanami, then yes, then everybody would say that Mesira is a kinyan. Right? Here, he told him, go pull it and be koine it. Marsavar Kpeda. Marsa, when he said go do a mashicha, that meant that the seller was makbid. You gotta pull it. You don't pull it, you're not kind it. He wasn't insisting that it has to be pulled. He was giving him a marma. He was helping him out. He was telling him, by the way, you could do a mashicha and then you'll be kind it. You don't have to do any fancy kinyanim of being kind of the rishus. So then just do mashicha, right? So that's what. That's how we're going to differentiate with this whole case. Okay, Amara Papa. So now going back to selling the shtar. The guy sells the shtar to his friend. He needs to write for him. When he's selling him the shtar, I mean, again, he's buying debt or he's selling debt to somebody. Right? So, I mean, usually you sell debt for pennies on the dollar. So he's saying you're going to be koine it and any shibud that's in it, which is exactly what the guy's buying. You're getting the lien that's in the shtar. I mean, why would a guy buy debt? Right? I mean, the first guy couldn't collect the debt, so what makes you think you're going to collect the debt? Okay, but maybe you don't know. Maybe you have a way to get to but the point is to the lien. You're not going to be able to collect on the debt. You'll be able to collect the lien. So he has to. So Rav Papa is saying you have to write that in the kinyan, right? Or either say it, or he says you have to write it. You have to write it in the shtar. So Ravashi, Amrisa l'shmaitzuk midur Rav Kahana. I said over to Rav Kahana what Rav Papa said. And I said to him, time with the custom lehachi. The only reason why the kinyan works is because he wrote him that he's selling him all the achrayas in it. But if he didn't write this, like he's not kind of. So then what would be the point? So, I mean, what is the guy buying it for? Let's say he didn't say that. So what are you thinking? Why are you buying the shtar? You're using it to cover over your bottles? That's what he's doing here, is buying bottle covers? Of course the guy meant to when the guy was buying the shtar, the debt, he meant that he's going to be acquiring the whole situation. So Amrali said to me, yeah, in lots of yes, he's doing it to cover his bottles and to cover his bottles. Meaning, if the meicher, the seller of the debt, didn't write this thing, then we taka say that this guy lost out. He's left holding the bag, literally. Right? He's left holding the bag. There's nothing else. Meaning, you have to specify that you're selling the debt and all the liens that come along with the debt. If you didn't sell it, if you didn't write that, then it doesn't count. Yeah. Okay. We'll stop over here. Ramesh, right on the nose. Yeah.
I'm going to do Ramesh early for Myers.
Can you believe it?